Ladies and gents, welcome back. When the Liberals are pushing this hard and this soon, and there's no election even planned, you know that they're scared. Now, yesterday, MGTOW became the word of the day in a Pee Wee Herman sort of sense of the term. Now, MGTOW is an acronym for Men Going Their Own Way. This term came about in about the 2010s. And it responds to radical feminism. We're not talking about your suffragettes and women fighting for equality for all women. This was a grift movement of women trying to paint men in all walks of life as bad people and trying to make a few bucks on the internet in the process. Now, Men Going Their Own Way was a response to that. And maybe some people co-opted it, but it was, for the most part, just that. Now, Global News running an article. Pierre Poilievre's YouTube channel included a hidden misogynistic tag to promote his videos. A response to this on Twitter was, spoiler, it's about tags in the video that are a legacy thing on YouTube. MGTOW, Men Going Their Own Way, a response slogan against radical feminism. Chigoter seems fitting. Canadian investigative journalists going off their rocker. And here's the story here. Pierre Poilievre's YouTube channel included hidden misogynistic tags to promote videos. Now, what are these tags? They're not talking about the hashtags that are visible to everybody, but they're tags that are aimed at keywords, keyword searches, things like that. It's a legacy thing. They don't even use them anymore. And many of them were just suggested on YouTube back in the day. And they could have just been hanging around on your channel because of videos that we were making back previous. Pierre Poilievre's official YouTube includes hidden tags appealing to misogynistic online movements that Canada's intelligence agency views as a danger. Of course, offloading your opinion on somebody else is a tactic journalists like to use. Tell us which agencies and when they said this, because they didn't cite that at all in this. But they do cite another agency, and we'll get into that. The Global News analysis of 50 of Poilievre's most recent YouTube videos showed that they included a tag hidden from viewers, but not from the video's publisher. Okay, so what is it? Can you have your cake and eat it too? Is it hidden from people? But somehow those people that are bad people know about it? No, it's if it's hidden, it's hidden. And like I said, it's a YouTube legacy thing, so it doesn't even get used. Some people still attempt to use tags. It really doesn't help your videos. I would know. It's a back-end thing. Used by misogynistic online movement. The tag helps promote Poilievre's videos among those circles. I don't know how because they can't see them. And signals to YouTube what users might be interested in the conservatives' leaders' messaging. Again, it's a legacy thing. YouTube doesn't actually use these things. They do use the hashtags. So the tag hashtag MGTOW, hashtags are used these days. But anyway, the tag MGTOW is an acronym for Men Going Their Own Way, a mostly online movement comprised of anti-feminists who attempt to cut women completely out of their lives. According to the Southern Poverty Law Center, the movement overlaps with more aggressive forms of male supremacy. So it overlaps. They're not saying that it is this. It's a slogan. It's a slogan, but it's the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, what do we know about the Southern Poverty Law Center? Well, we know that it's a group that's focus is to slander and alleviate journalists from having to deal with libel. So they just go to this political group that slanders people. Now, the group has targeted even left-wing publications. We have here the Wall Street Journal, which is not by any means a right-wing publication. We were smeared by the SPLC. Our work for religious liberty got us branded a hate group. Such lies have real consequences, and they absolutely do. There's an article here about that. PJ Media put one out. New York Times was slapped with a $5 million lawsuit for citing the SPLC, branding immigration hawk a white nationalist. Wow. And what about the SPLC from the National Review here? The SPLC fires its co-founder and its own intolerance is exposed once again. Now let's go down to where they start, because they're talking about some other organization here. And now the SPLC faces its own internal challenge. Yesterday, the SPLC fired its legendary co-founder, Morris Dees, for unspecified inappropriate conduct. What was that conduct? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with D's. Haha, got he. And then hired an outside organization to conduct a comprehensive assessment of its internal climate and workplace practices. According to the Los Angeles Times, the SPLC just might have a tolerance problem. Times has also learned that the organization, whose leadership is predominantly white, has been wrestling with complaints of workplace mistreatment of women and people of color. It was not immediately clear whether those issues were connected to the firing of Dees. Maybe the Global News should disavow the Wall Street Journal for their engagement of inappropriate treatment and mistreatment of women in this case. Maurice Dees and his history of alleged racism outside SPLC chief has a controversial past. Internal documents reviewed by the newspaper staffers accused Dees of racism. The memos portrayed a culture in which black employees felt threatened and banded together, the advertiser reported. The article questioned the lack of black staffers at top levels of the SPLC. Only one department head out of 8 was black at the time, it stated, and detailed dissatisfaction among black employees. I think there's a real question as to the sincerity and legitimacy of the organization because of the noticeable absence of blacks there, said Black former law center intern Donald Jackson at the time. You know, it's sort of like the pot calling the kettle black. Ouch. So this is the Southern Poverty Law Center and their assessment, and this is how they operate. But here they are assessing a slogan used by many people online, and yes, maybe there are some bad people, bad groups or whatever co-opting this. But anyway, they go on to talk about how, Poilievre is involved in hate groups, yada yada. This is the usual smear. Now, even Justin Trudeau came out in a global piece to use this to his political advantage once again. But it seems embarrassing because I feel that they're digging too hard too soon, and it seems like they're just reaching at straws here.
If it were not for Global News, we would not have learned that the Conservative leader has been purposefully using his videos to appeal to far-right misogynistic online movements.
Purposefully and all this, adding this extra language to it. Now, interesting that this is the Global News video on YouTube, and wait, what is that? What is that? I'll get a zoom in for you. They use the hashtag MGTOW. Yes, Global News appealing to an online group of misogynists in their video by using hashtag MGTOW. This is, of course, by Global News' own admission, only for the purposes of reaching out to this particular group. There you go. Hello. So again, trying to have your cake and eat it too. Now, what happened? Well, a term on Twitter went trending yesterday because of the vitriol being put out by people who are exposing that Pierre Poilievre is a bad guy because MGTOW or whatever. They started using the term incel. Now, incel is a term that is used as a derogatory statement against men, calling them involuntary celibates. It's akin to childhood or childish school bullying type arguments or name calling, but it's going after individuals for being involuntary celibates. Now, I've been called an incel online by these types of people, and I've been married for 16 years. I have 2 children. I'm clearly not involuntarily celibate, but this is the vitriol that you get. Now, this vitriol isn't just stuck on Twitter. There was a publication recently, Variety magazine, went after Jordan Peterson because he had broken down, stupid old man, sticking up for men in the case that they're been marginalized, but old guy. Jordan Peterson breaks down in tears when asked about Olivia Wilde's calling him a hero to the incel community. Sure, why not, he says. This article just out there, just throwing out big laughs at the guy for having the audacity for maybe getting emotional. And they, again, this is one of those things. Men should be more sensitive when a man cries, "Ha ha, you jerk." You know, this is how it goes. But here's the actual exchange with Piers Morgan on his show here.
I've got to wrap it up. I don't want to, but I have to. I want to ask you just quickly, the film director Olivia Wilde has a new movie out, which she says is based on you, this insane man, this pseudo-intellectual hero to the incel community. Incel being these weirdo loner men who are despicable in many ways. Is that you? Are you the intellectual hero to these people?
Sure. Why not? People have been after me for a long time because I've been speaking to disaffected young men. What a terrible thing to do that is. I thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice.
It's making you emotional. Talk about that.
Well, God, it's very difficult to understand how demoralized people are. And certainly many young men are in that category. And you get these casual insults, these incels. What does it mean? It's like, well, these men, they don't know how to make themselves attractive to women who are very picky, and good for them. Women, be picky. That's your gift, man. Demand high standards from your men. Fair enough. But all these men who are alienated, it's like, they're lonesome and they don't know what to do, and everyone piles abuse on them.
When she said that, Olivia Wilde, it stung you, didn't it? I saw the
reaction. By
reaction.
that time, that as far as critiques go, that was kind of low level. I mean, once I got painted as Red Skull, magical super Nazi, that was kind of the end of the insults.
So this is Jordan Peterson actually showing a bit of humility here in this case. And why the vitriol? This is supposed to be individuals saying how intolerance is a bad thing. Being intolerant of women is a terrible thing. And I agree with that. I think being intolerant. So men going their own way was a slogan against radical feminism. Now, where is the vitriol? The vitriol is being pointed at people right now, and we can see it in the term incel. Now, Jabron Hambon took to Twitter, and I noticed this during the trend. Incel, involuntary celibate, a term to make fun of a guy who can't get some sex. So what? A sad, toxic, sexist term from the armpits of the internet. I'd rather sympathize with incels than be in bed with Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. Dumb Canadians always virtue signaling. Lemmings. And of course, we're learning that there are people in bed with the World Economic Forum. Now, Pierre Poilievre came out immediately and removed the tags. He doesn't stand by that. Apparently, these tags could have been added to his channel with an automated service ages ago. We're not sure how they got added, but he removed them. And he came out and said, "Oh, I don't have this MGTOW sense of being." He's, again, a married man with children, and he's doing just fine. So what did we get from this whole scenario? Well, we got the idea that the Liberals are really shaking in their boots, digging super deep, super hard, and this is all they could find. And they want to blow it up to be a big thing, and it's a big nothing, a big old nothing. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this whole situation. Is MGTOW all it's cracked up to be? Is it a dog whistle that only certain people can hear and makes them go radical? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.